Hi guys, it's Amy and today we're gonna do the mid of the year book freakout tag. So I'm here with all the questions for this tags. I've seen this on Just the Reader. I'm gonna link him and the creator of the tag below on the description of this video, so remember to check it out because his video is amazing. I love Just the Reader very much. He's one of my big inspirations because he's such a joyful guy and I love the way he speaks. So definitely check him out. So I'm here trying to remember all the books I've read this year. It's around 34 or 35 so far. Last month I just didn't read anything, just parts of books, but I didn't finish any. I really hope this month I'm gonna finish more books. Question number 1. Best book you've read so far? For me, it was definitely Sight and Thunderhead. I just binge read this book so quick. I think I finished in 3 days, both of them. If you have no idea what this book is about, you should definitely pick it up if you're into futuristic societies, dystopian stories, this kind of things, which is one of my favorite stories of all time. You know, I love dystopian stories. Inside, we are presented to this futuristic society where nobody dies anymore. We don't have more diseases or problems that cause death. You know, when you reach a certain age, you can just restart to 25 years old again and to be 25 again. And then they have created the Sight. The idea is that nobody dies, so there can be overpopulation if they don't control that. We don't die of natural causes, we don't die of accidents or anything, so we rely on this Sight not to overpopulate the world. The Sights, they are chosen and they have this job that is to kill people. And each Sight has a different way of killing. They choose how they are going to choose their victims and kind of like that is mostly by chance. But they have this, you know, they need to select victims and they need to have a number of deaths per day or per week, per month, I don't remember. And it's an amazing book. It's full of politics. I love politics very much. And government conspiracies. And we have our 2 teenage heroes that they are chosen to be Sight apprentices and they don't want to be Sights. Of course, they don't want to kill people. They hate it. But they have to do it and they have to choose who's gonna die, and we see their dilemmas coming up. It's amazing. It's really good. I loved it, and as soon as I finished the first one, I got the second one, and then I finished the second one in a day. And I know by the end of the year we're gonna have a 3rd book on this series, and I can't wait to read it because I don't want to forget about this story. I really need it now. So I'm very excited. I think it's around November that they're gonna launch this book. Moving on to our second question. Best sequel you've read so far? So that was gonna be Thunderhead. I'm not gonna spoil this one. Sorry, I've already said too much about Sight, so I'm not gonna say anything about it, but it's an amazing sequel. And we meet so many different people here and we get even more into the government and how things work, because they have this different government where they are ruled by an artificial intelligence that knows absolutely everything. So we don't have to study things anymore because we can just ask this artificial intelligence that knows everything. So we learn more about this in this book. It's amazing, guys. I loved it very much. It's the best sequel I've read so far. 3. New release you haven't read yet, but want to. That would be a huge list. I recently have 1007 books on my want to read list. Here, found one on the first 3 of my TBR, and it is Romanov. Romanov is a retelling of Anastasia, which is a legend that I absolutely love. It's based on true facts because the Romanov family really existed and Rasputin really existed and everything, but nobody knows what actually happened to the real Anastasia. She just disappeared when she was around 10 and that's it. And it's about Russia, which is one of the countries that are on my bucket list to visit because I have a part of my family that came from Russia. I am really excited to read it. It's a story that I know and love, so I have big expectations about this book. I'm thinking about reading during the Needs Readathon in August. 4. Most anticipated release for second half of the year. So that would be the third book on the Sight series. Because come on, I need to know how it ends. So the name of the book is going to be The Toll. We have a cover and everything. This is it. I can't wait to have it on my hands and just read it. You guys know how it feels when you are excited about a release and you just can't wait enough. Biggest disappointment. One of my disappointments of a book that I did finish was the last one on a series of unfortunate events, because I waited very much to finish this book. I started reading them in the beginning of the year and I loved it. It's amazing. The story is amazing, and I think that if I had read it when I was younger, like around 10 or 11 years old, I would have liked it better. But in the end, we are still left with a lot of questions, and that was kind of disappointing because I was expecting so much more answers. I wanted more answers, and it was very disappointed because I was expecting so much more and we didn't have it. But it was a cool series to have read. I'm definitely reading it to my son as soon as he reaches a good age to read it. I have a huge list of books that I want to read to him when he's older. He's 1 year old now, so hold my horses, right? Question number 6. Biggest surprise. I guess my biggest surprise this year was It from Stephen King. I hadn't read it before and it was amazing to read this book. I read it in a week and I just couldn't put it down. It was so great and so amazing, and I thought I was gonna get scared. Not scared, but when you read a scary book and then you have these dreams and things and you just can't let go of that new reality. I don't know how to explain that. And I didn't. I was really into the book when I was reading, and I was able to go in and out of the story. It was flowing so well. And I found out that the book was not about what I thought it was. It's not about a killer clown. It's about fear, but not about monsters' fear as I thought it was, So, and there's so much more to this story when you read it and when you reach the end and you just want to think about what you've read for a long time. I loved it. I recommend it to anyone who wants to read Stephen King to start for this book, because it's amazing. It's really good, and you learn so much about the way this author writes. It's good, guys. It's good. Good. 7. Favorite new author. I'm gonna have to say that my favorite new author is Caroline Katniss. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. She wrote You, which is one of my favorite reads so far this year. And this book is amazing, and the way she writes, you just get into everything. And this book is written on the second person, so everything is about you. So when you are reading, you are the characters. So it's really nice. It was a completely different experience. I read it on audiobook and it's amazing. It's really good. And the audiobook from Audible is really, really, really perfect. Totally recommend it if you can get it. The experience is amazing. So I was here editing the video and I noticed that I didn't say anything about the book You, and I decided to record it very quick and talk a little about it. In the book, we follow the story of Joe. He narrates the story for us. And Joe is a sociopath who works in a bookstore. And one day this girl walks in, and the girl is You. He narrates the story talking about You. And this girl is Genevieve, and he becomes obsessed with her. He just Googles her and starts following her. There's a series on Netflix that is based on this book, but the series is completely off after a point. They get everything right, and then after a point they just decide to do everything different because they want to have a second season. But this is still good, so if you can, just watch it, and if you like the story, read the book because it's really good. And then we just follow his obsession and we become obsessed too. And the thing is that because he's talking about us, we get even more into the character. it's a really good book. It's very immersive, and I totally recommend it. Number 8, newest fictional crush. I'm gonna have to disappoint you guys right here and say that I don't have fictional crushes anymore. I used to have them when I was really young. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to disappoint you and say that I don't have fictional crushes, and this year even less. No, I don't fall like that anymore. I have a huge real life crush, which is my husband. Sorry. Number 9, newest favorite character. Wow, that's hard. Thinking only about the books I've read this year, it's kind of hard. I'll have to say that from this year's books, my favorite character was definitely Violet Baudelaire. But I knew her before, so I'm kind of cheating on this one. Because I've watched the movie when I was like 12 years old or 13 years old, and I loved her because she reminded me of me very much, and she was so beautiful. Now that I've read the books, I've learned to like her even more and get inspired by her even more because she's such a strong character. I really loved it. 10, book that made you cry. And I'm gonna go with The Fault in Our Stars because the ending really made me cry. Like, it didn't make me cry, but you know, it filled my eyes with tears, you know? I got emotional. I didn't cry because I was expecting that, but not like that. But I got very emotional in that book. 11, book that made you happy. I don't know. I haven't read any, you know, happy book this year. I don't think any of the books made me happy. I was happy that I was reading, but I wasn't happy because the story was a happy story or something like that. So another unanswered question here. 12, favorite book to movie adaptation you saw this year. I don't watch book to movies adaptations like at all. I only watch it when I don't know it's a book. And if I find out that it's a book, I stop the movie at the moment and I just add the book to my TBR and I don't watch the movie. This year, I don't know if I watched a book to movie adaptation. I don't know. If I did, I don't know. I didn't know if it was a book, so, and I still don't, so makes no difference, right? 13, favorite review you've done this year. So I really liked my review of The Surface Breaks, but it's not on yet. I'm gonna post it, I think, next week. So brace yourselves, guys. I didn't like the book very much. I think I was expecting so much more because I've heard so many people saying so many good things about it, and it wasn't what I thought it was. I gave it 3 stars. But I really liked the review and the way I expressed my idea, so you're gonna have to wait for it. As soon as it's on, I'm gonna post it here on the card, so stay tuned. 14, most beautiful book you bought so far this year. I don't buy many physical copies because they're much more expensive than the ebook version, and as I am from Brazil, there's like shipping costs and everything because I like to read the books in English, so they are, you know, it's kind of expensive to bring it here because of taxes. But I buy everyday ebooks, so I'm just gonna look for the most beautiful cover I see here. It's Crown of Feathers is right here. The art is just amazing. I'm crazy about illustrations. My husband is an illustrator and I love this very much. It's an amazing cover. Love it. And last questions. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? I have many books on my TBR. Many books on my TBR. But I have here a list of a few books that I really want to finish. So I'm just gonna pop up some covers here, okay? So Carrie, Firestarter, The Haunting of Hill House, I'm really excited to read it. The Mist, Fight Club, my husband read it this year and he said that it's amazing, that he could feel the pain of the guy, so I'm really excited to get into it. The Witcher series, I really want to start it because I think the game is amazing and the game was based on the book, so I really want to read it. Sea Witch is another retelling of The Little Mermaid that I'm gonna get by the end of the year. And I'm gonna make these ones my last, which is the Lost Boy and Lost Girl. It is a series of a retelling of Peter Pan. So let me know in the comments what books you need to read by the end of the year. Thank you so much for watching it, guys. If you like it, don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button to see more videos like this. Love you guys very much. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.